What's going on, everybody? I'm Elminer. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to be talking about office chairs. Most of the people watching this video are very likely sitting in an office or at home in an office space, sitting on an office chair. Most chairs, office chairs, can go flat pretty quick. Very hard to sit on after a while for a long time. Most of the people today spend a great deal of time in their office chair. So today I'm going to show you how to bring back the life in your office chair so that you can enjoy videos like this. So most of the time when you're dealing with an office chair, the back of the chair normally doesn't wear out. What wears out is the seat, is where the rump rests. If you don't have enough padding on here, it can be very painful and very bad on your back. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some foam to this, and then we're going to put it back together. But first, we have to take it apart. So for this project, we are going to need a flathead screwdriver, a pair of pliers, a staple puller, a L-wrench to fit whatever you're using, sometimes is a Phillips head, and a pair of scissors. We start off by taking off the screws on the side of the chair. This arm holds up the back and the seat, keeps them together. These chairs come with plugs so that you can't see the screws, but basically you take a screwdriver, wedge behind it, and pop it out. You take your L key, I don't know what these things are called, in the screw, give it a nice twist. I like to break all the screws loose. I just come back, flip it over, and it's easy to just twist it off. Honestly, I like to use the drill for this. If you have the luxury of having a drill, this is the fastest, easiest way. So here's where you get to see how flat it is. Okay, now guys, that we're done with the top portion of it, I normally like to mark where the front is. So I take my little layout line here so that I know my front. We have to flip the chair over. Under here we have 4 more screws to take off to release the seat from the base. Normally the mechanism will tell you where the front is. Here it's labeled where the front is. A rule of thumb is that this tensioner, which allows the seat to tilt back or tilt forward, this tells you where the front is, because you always want to have it where you can reach it while you're still sitting down. And the lever is always on the right hand side. What we want to do next is remove all the staples all the way around the seat. And for that we use our staple puller. There's 2 different kinds of staple pullers. This is one kind. This is a different kind of staple puller. So they're both staple pullers. They just work differently. I personally like to use them in different situations. If I want to go somewhere where I don't want to damage the fabric and I have to go long into getting that staple, I use this. But for these type of projects, I like to use this small one because it allows me to pull out the staple without using pliers a lot. And take off the dust cover. Be very careful while pulling and using your staple puller. If you're new at upholstery, the staple puller will go through your hand. So always kind of like push it away from you, go down into the staple, then pull it up slowly. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a little slit in the middle of the horns that allows you to grip the staple and twist it off. So I'm going to go all the way around and take these staples off the dust cover. I try not to take any of the center stuff off, like these stickers and all that. I keep them there. I try not to remove them because you get access to it without taking all this off. So I'll go ahead and remove the staples in here, and there is still a staple there. You got to watch those. Those can cut you really bad. So that's what the handy dandy pliers are for. Just grab it and rip it off. So next step is to remove it from the seat. But first you got to watch out for these guys, so you don't want to tear this. You want to make sure that you pull this out. Pull these out. Flip it out. Now if it's an old chair, this foam might disintegrate in your hand, so be careful with that. Wear a dust mask if possible. Okay, for this step you need the foam you're going to use to pad your seat. You need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need some adhesive spray. So what you want to do with the foam is make sure that just by gripping it and folding over, you're able to reach this edge all the way around. So So you take your scissors and cut whatever excess foam. So just to make it a tad more comfortable, I'm going to add some deck iron before I put my foam on. Fold it in half. And cut it down. Put it on the seat. I want to make sure that you get inside there, especially on the front part, because that's where it's going to get the most use. So you want that to hold. Alright, for the next step of the project, you need a tool that I did not mention in the beginning of the video, and it's one of the most important tools in upholstery, and that is a stapler. This is an Arrow hand stapler, heavy duty. This will work just fine for this type of project. For this project, we'll be using the BA stapler. Pneumatic, uses air compressor. You would say, well, what's the difference? Both can accomplish the same job. One is just simply faster. It's the equivalent of using this instead of this. This is definitely going to be faster. They both accomplish the same job. This is just faster. So the idea is to, you see the separation from the old foam to the actual frame. What we're going to do is pull our new foam over, get it a little tight there, and drop a staple all the way around, securing this new foam to the wood with staples. So what I'm trying to do is get the foam to curve around just like the wood's doing. So I'm going to continue stapling all the way around. This is how your finished product should look. You should have the same curve that it had before once you're done stapling it all the way around. There's many ways to go about this. Most people go for a blade and they just drop it right after the staples. Since you cut the staples that were there, took out all the staples that were there prior, you can run your blade across this safely without worrying about running over a staple. Cut it all the way around. I'll be right back. Okay, once you've cut off all the excess foam from around the seat, it should look like this. Drop a snip. That's more like it. Yeah. We're going to drop the cover back on here. So you want to know what the front is. Your labels tell you that's our front. You know where the front is, and that's our yellow mark here. So front this way. I always flip the material out like that. Use the seam to tell me where my line. You want that front to look good. So I have to smack it around a little bit. Well, this is going to be the hard part because it's all stretched out. Pull it over to the edge and then drop the fabric down. Slapping it around, trying to get the fabric in place before we upholster. Also, it's important to make sure that your center line is centered with your piece. I will drop another staple here. If I don't like how it looks at the end, I can take these 3 staples out and then manipulate it to where I want it. It looks snug. Pull tight. Now that we stapled the vinyl back onto the seat, so we're going to go ahead and close this up and put our dust cover back on, and same thing as the leather for the vinyl, just tack it back on. Okay, so we're done. The seat is back intact. We're ready to assemble. So once all your items are clean, it is time to reassemble it. Grab a couple of screws, put the arm on the seat. That's nice and tight. Get it back in place. Once you have one arm attached, the other one is much easier. Everything basically falls into place. Now it's time to put on the base. Always try to hand guide them a little bit. And there you have it, folks. That is how you pad the seat on your office chair to give it a little bit more life. So if you like this video, hit subscribe. More of these kind of videos coming out. So please stay tuned. This is Elminer. Until next time.